All right, welcome to another episode of the Protein Bros podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Wasserman. As with me, as always, is my co-host, Kyle Combs.
Sup, guys?
And today is an awesome day. It's a random Tuesday. We don't usually record on Tuesdays, but here we are. We have an awesome guest today, Jabari Washington, owner of TUF Club in the Crossroads. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And say hi.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Thanks
for having me on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you making the time, dude.
Yeah. Jabari is the man. He has trained for years and years. He started out of a basement, now owns his own club in the Crossroads that some very high-profile people train with. And he's made a name for himself. He's got other trainers that work underneath him now. And we're going to get into his story today, and it's going to be pretty cool. But first and foremost, dude, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
It's your first time being in our office?
It is. This is my first time in the store. I try to hit as many stores as I can, and I typically follow Wyatt and Luke because they got me going with S2. And
you go to a Shawnee store to see Wyatt?
I go to the Shawnee store. I got to stay loyal, but I try to hit as many stores, and this was on my list to hit. I had no idea all of this was here, but I'm glad I came, and so no, this is good. I'm inspired.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, dude. Before we started the mics, Jabbar and I were talking a little bit about just taking swings and how it's tough to be like a first mover, especially in Kansas City, because people usually do these new unique things on the coasts. Mm-hmm. We see it, and then people get inspired, and then they decide to open something like it in Kansas City. And so, like this office, no one would think like this podcast studio, like, oh, like you guys own a supplement store and you need something like this nice. And it's like, yeah, we do. We really do. We think so, like we got a really, really, really awesome staff, as you know, like, your loyalty to our stores is not based on me and Kyle. It's based on guys that we've hired.
Absolutely.
Right? Which is tough in itself. And I know
it's very tough. Yeah. It's hard to get a good team.
We have a wonderful team, and so it's like we need to show them that, like, hey, we take ourselves really serious here. We want to show them that, their hard work is going towards something, and so we want to give them a place that when they meet, they can feel like, the place that they're meeting in is as serious as they take themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's one of the things that I've done across the course of my adult life is study business and business trends and business practices, and how people in business think. And when I first came to S2, I remember Luke was like, man, you got to come by the store, man. You got to come by the store. And he was just this happy green dude. And I'm like, I like his energy. I don't know if I would ever use the product, but I like his energy. So I'm going to go by and say, what's up? Just because his energy is so good. And then he introduced me to Wyatt. And Wyatt was green, had just started. I think he had been there maybe a month. And he was like, man, I want to do an in-body scan on you, and I want to talk about some of your goals and stuff like that. And so I said, well, I'm going to go reverse on him real quick. I'm going to act like I'm a client. I'm going to act like I'm a potential customer. And so I'm sure Luke probably remembers this, but Wyatt was like, okay, what are some of your goals? And I said, well, I want to drop about 15 pounds, and I want to do it through eating right and proper supplementation. Now, I know all of what I'm about to tell him that I want to do. I know exactly what to ask for, but I wanted to know how sharp he was and how serious he was about his craft.
Kind of let him do his process.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to see how confident he was going through the process. And he was like in love with it. It was great energy, and you could tell he had been studying. And so he was asking me certain questions and saying certain things. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I want to do like a thermo pill where, I can do some fat burning and stuff like that? What would be the best one and why? And he's going over the ingredients that's in this thermo, and he's going over why this is the best one, and take this with that. And then you can take this with your greens and make sure that you have this right after your workout. And if you skip a meal, take this over here. I'm like, okay, all right. And so I ended up buying probably a couple $100 worth of product that day just to support him and to support Luke. Luke had kind of told me what his ambition was in the store, in the company. And I said, okay. And so I bought some product, but then a light bulb went off. I said, this in-body scan, I like this. And so I started sending clients there, all my clients that wanted to go through transformations. I would send them into the store at 135th and Metcalf, have them do an in-body scan, have them, go through the protocol, get their form filled out with what they're eating now, what are some of the good benefits of eating properly, what are some of the good habits that they could have in eating, what supplements they recommended, and I would have them bring that to me. And that would become what I do now as like entry to fitness, an entry to the TUF Club, an entry to your new goals,
kind of
and your
onboarding, if you will.
That was my first onboard.
Yeah,
that was my S2. Here's the record. Was my first onboard, and before I had my own digital scales, before I had my own system, I utilized S2 to become my onboard for my client, and I utilized them as the supplementation engine for everything that I wanted to do, because I just thought it was ingenious to have the in-body scan in store and offer that to people with, a trainer, a representative of the store sitting down with them who's certified in nutrition and training. They've taken the personal training exam. They know what they're talking about. Here's what you should be eating. Here's what you should be supplementing with. Bring that back to me. Now, if it's a rookie, I'm going to say, no, that he's not right. I'll go down there and talk to Luke, tell Luke to talk to the dude. But here's what you should do. And that became my first onboarding process. And so
that's legit, dude.
Yeah, I've got a lot to thank for Luke and Wyatt on that.
The big thing with, and I'm sure you can, you can attest to this, but in our business, in the fitness industry in general, it's such a delicate balance between giving your employees enough information that they can adequately help somebody and point them in the right direction, but also making sure that they understand not to bash somebody over the head with information, right?
Yeah,
overwhelm.
Absolutely.
So it's like you got a new client that comes in the store, and it's like you've just given this employee 3 months worth of information. You've had them go through in-house training. You've had them do 2 certifications, and they come out and what do they want to do to this, a 43-year-old lady that maybe hasn't worked out in, 20 years is they just start dumping information on them. It's important that we have, people in place that can pull that back and just say, hey, listen, there's some basics that are true, and those basics are something that, are a good starting point. And here's what they are. Let's get you on the in-body scan to see where your starting point is. Yeah. And let's just do these basic things, because these basic things are what's going to, they're going to drive the most results. And in the future, we can kind of fine tune things.
Absolutely.
And you told me before we started the podcast, you got 11 trainers that are working underneath you. Yeah. So you are in the position where you're doing a ton of training of trainers.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Is there something that, you've learned along the way that basically helps you with making everybody on the same page, as far as when somebody comes in, they get the same level of customer service from your trainers, but also allows them to be kind of uniquely themselves as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our concept at the TUF Club is unique within itself. Very seldom have you ever been in a gym where you have trainers that are allowed to have their own brand. Yeah. Okay, so every trainer in there, we have Body Love Fitness, that's Christina Perry. We have Hill Fitness, that's Ronnie. And
are these W-9 employees or whatever? Are they what's the word I'm looking for? Is it W-9?
Yeah, contract.
Yeah, they're individual contractors of the TUF Club.
Got it.
Okay, but the TUF Club brand is the brand, so I give you a great example. I started with Ronnie Hill, Chelsea Borders, Christina Perry. Those were my first 3. Okay. They already came with a clientele. They were already training to some extent in their
established trainers.
Yeah, in their other gyms where they were at. They came to me during COVID. And so prior to COVID, I was running a one-man operation. It was just me. I was training 77 people face-to-face.
Shoo!
Yeah, by myself.
Working a few hours.
Yeah. I would leave my house at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would get done at 10 o'clock at night. 6 days a week, 3 years in a row. And that was my life. That was my schedule. I might be able to bounce in to the house for a second, in between. But that was my schedule. I actually raised my son. So my son will be 6 in January. I raised my son in the business. My son was with me every day.
That's awesome.
4 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night.
Shoot.
Well, not ideal, but it's cool.
Not ideal at all. It's crazy. Don't do that, parents.
Yeah.
But
what's his name, by the way?
His name is Hezekiah.
Awesome.
And so it's a Hebrew name for God gives strength, or the strength of God. And so, but he was with me every day. So, and just before he was with me, I actually started with my 8-year-old daughter, who is an incredible track star, gymnast now. And I can tell just by having them in the gym, raising them in the gym, just going another route real quick, I can tell the difference between my 2 older kids and my 2 younger kids. My 2 older kids weren't raised in the gym. And now their athletic ability is catching up with them. One of my daughters is just, 2 of them are 2-time junior Olympians and shot put and discus, but they're just now catching up to athletic ability. My 2 younger kids, you walk in the gym on a random day, my 8-year-old daughter is box jumping 30-inch boxes. She runs 14.5, 14.6 and 100 meters.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
She's rope climbing.
Man, I saw a study that there was there's correlative data between mile time of their kids and kids that watch their parents exercise.
Absolutely.
So basically, the people that had the faster mile times were basically kids that watched their parents exercise at a higher amount. And I just thought that was super interesting.
It is.
Like, that was bigger than genetics, bigger than,
all that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I know I digressed real quick, but going back to your question, I started with those 3, and then quickly those 3 became 11. And so some of the 11 had never trained before. So you take Naeem Powell and Darius Henry, they'd never been trainers a day in their life, ever. They were both police officers. March of 2021, they were both police officers. March of 2022, neither one of them were police officers. They're working full-time as trainers and making a living and supporting family and supporting responsibilities as trainers. Well, how do you do that in a year's time? Yeah, there is a system or a mindset that makes us a little unique and different to the customer service that we bring to the client, the way you approach your day, what you focus on. I get people to just show up. That's the biggest thing. Then I get them to show up with the right mentality, the right attitude. There's an energy that we have in the gym. Luke will tell you, or anybody that's been in our gym will tell you, when you walk into the building, there's a first floor, and then you walk up 2 sets of stairs. There's a clear separation between the first floor and the mid floor, and when you get to the third floor is almost like you get halfway up that staircase, and there's a vibration, and don't let the music be playing. It's like you can feel it from outside. There's a vibration that happens, and that started with what I did in the basement. So I start the energy and the environment all the way back to what I did in the basement, because I knew, to the point that you made earlier, that I had to separate myself from the next trainer, because one, I'm training in the basement that isn't even my basement. So how am I going to convince people to show up to this basement in a random house in Olathe and work out with me 3, 4, 5 days a week? How am I going to do that? There has to be an energy, a feel, a flow, a vibe, an inspiration, a story, a movement that's going to make people say, yeah, I'm coming there. Why would Brittany Mahomes travel from Ward Parkway 30 minutes, 4 days a week to somebody else's basement? What's going to make her do that when she can go to any gym in Kansas City? Why would she do that? Or if it's not even her, why would just the average everyday person that could go to F45, Orange Theory, Lifetime Fitness, Planet Fitness, Genesis, 24-Hour Fitness at that time, why would they not have a trainer there and come to this random basement? Or why would they come to this random clubhouse at Mills Farm Community and work out with this dude that has his son with him every day. Why would they do that? There has to be a feel, and I can connect that to the feel of family, the feel of teamwork, support, the feel of positive energy, the feel of winning.
I mean, I would tell you, Jabari, just from meeting you, man, it's that you care a shitload about your clients.
Oh yeah,
and
a whole lot,
and they can feel it from you,
yeah.
And it's authentic, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're their person, you know,
Yes.
like you are their trainer, so you give them that, you know.
And to that, go ahead.
The vibe thing I was gonna say, you know, like everything that you just. So you grew up playing high level basketball, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I'm sure that you were on a traveling basketball team.
Was.
That becomes like your family, right?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know what I'm saying? So you grew up with that kind of tight knit, close family type of athletic career.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that's kind of carried over into your training.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up, you know, playing sports. I grew up wrestling. We did a lot of traveling with wrestling too. And I'd imagine it's similar to basketball where it's like the people you wrestle with become your family. Well, same thing now. It's like now your clients have become your family.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And they can feel that.
Your clients and your trainers and your trainers' clients.
Yeah.
Now. And if you can't, there's a reason why I speak to everybody in the gym, whether they're my client or not.
Yeah.
I make sure that I know who they are, know a little bit about them. I study what they're working on, how the trainer's training them. There's a reason for that because I don't want to feel so far out of touch away from them that they're like, oh, that's the owner of the gym. No, I'm in there gritting just like everybody else in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in there at 4
investing
o'clock.
in every one of those people. Yeah.
I got 5 a.m. clients like everybody else does. You know, I'm out of the bed at 4:30 every day like everybody else is. I'm on the road. If you ever watch my Instagram, I'm on the road at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. 5-6 days a week, still with 11 trainers, with the facility, with the recognition and the names and all of that. I'm still doing that. And back to your point of I'm everything to my clients. That is one nugget that I teach every trainer. You have to become irreplaceable in people's life. The more irreplaceable you are in a person's life, the more value that you have, the less that they feel a desire to get rid of you.
What's that irreplaceable coming from, you think? You know, it sounds like it's an energy exchange, you know, but it seems like the trainer really has to invest in the client and genuinely care.
Yeah.
And if they don't, the vibe and everything you're talking about, I think that extenuates everything, right? Like it makes them recognize that they're a part of something.
Yeah.
But if they didn't have a trainer that truly cared about them and their goals and who they are as a person,
right,
I don't think the feeling is the same.
And it's not. But again, I knew I didn't want clients. I wanted friends. I wanted family. I didn't want people that became just another number or just another invoice to me.
Not transactional.
No, I didn't want it transactional at all. Most of the time when my client sessions are up, they're reminding me, hey, I gotta pay you again. Oh, okay. I hadn't even thought about it. I'm sure you get an invoice later on today. I just wanted to let you know this was session 10 or this was session 19. It's time for me to pay you again. Very seldom, because I didn't want to chase money either. And I didn't want money to be an issue. I learned a long time ago in business, years ago, that, you know, money or cost is only an issue in the absence of value. I didn't want that to be an issue ever. I wanted it to be, I'm coming here for the best part of my day. And I'm coming here to become the best version of who I can be. And whatever that best version looks like for you, whether that best version is to be better in your career, whether that best version is to be a better wife, a better dad, a better husband, a better mom, whatever that best version is, if you're going for a new promotion, I'm training out of that vein. What are we trying to accomplish? Not just what are we trying to accomplish physically, because once you accomplish that, that's gone now. What are we trying to accomplish here? What do we really want? What are you doing this for? What's your motivation? What's your passion? Why are you doing this? You're not just doing this to lose weight. There's something deeper than that. I want to know what that deeper is, and I want my trainers to know what that deeper is. And that's what attaches you to the client, and that's what attaches the client to you, to where you're irreplaceable. I don't want when I got in the industry, they always talked about retention and turnover. It's always turnover. And I was like, it doesn't have to be. It's that way because people don't make it a priority for it not to be. So I have people that have been paying me for 5-6 years since I started. They still pay me. And, you know, every year I do Christmas gifts or Christmas cards or, you know, I go to kids' games. You know, now you're seeing the second generation of it. I've been with them long enough where if a kid was 10 when they started with me, they're now 16. I've trained that kid in whatever sport they're playing.
They're about to go to college.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go to college. I've got 3 kids right now that all we ever talk about, my text messages to them is, we're going after 250,000. 200 to 250,000, that's all we talk about. Well, what does that mean? It's $40,000, $50,000 a year to go to college. Your parents have done a great job of investing in you right now. Now is your time to do the job. And we got to go give $40,000, $50,000 a year for 4 years. We got to pay mom and daddy back.
Now you got those NIL deals too.
Yeah, those NIL deals. Yeah,
you can get that money a little quicker now.
I think it can't be understated how genuinely caring is such a competitive advantage. Like, people are always trying to game things where they're talking about, you know, oh, there's this much turnover, or, you know, this is how much margin I'm making, yada, 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 all the technicals of business.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you genuinely care, you know, that's got to be like at the forefront of everything. And it seems like, you know, everything that you just talked about, it's like really, it's you can't fake it.
Yeah.
You can't fake the.
That's the major point I want.
Can't fake it.
Yeah.
No.
You're talking about what you're saying with your staff and saying to them like, hey, like, you need to become irreplaceable, and here's how you do that. And you talked about how we need to know, hey, it's not just how much weight you want to lose, it's why do you want to lose that way?
Yeah.
You know, who are you trying to prove wrong?
Yeah.
You know, who is it that you're trying to, you know, shake off that chip on your shoulder? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
or like, you know, what vacation is it? You know,
Yeah,
maybe it is something
Totally.
that's
Maybe
more
it is
superficial.
something. It could be.
But
whatever it may be, that thing, you know, and you got to figure out what the why is, right?
But even with that, it's something deeper. Yeah, it is a vacation. But why do you want to look good on the beach?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
There's a why there, right?
There's a why there. What is that why?
Yeah.
Okay, and that why is what keeps you, because I want you after the vacation.
Oh yeah, people.
I don't want you just for the vacation and then you're done. I want you after the vacation.
Yeah.
There's a
So what is it?
Yeah, and like in that situation. So for all of our listeners, because there's a lot of people that are aspiring to train for a living, right? What you're saying, it could be very easy for people to think that like what you're teaching here is you know, becoming irreplaceable, find out their why, etc. But there's a big secret ingredient that Kyle's talking about that seems obvious, but it's like, you actually, once they tell you what it is, you have to follow up.
Yeah.
You got to actually care.
You have to invest in them.
You got to invest. You
in
have to genuinely be the person that's going to help carry them to this goal, because they genuinely felt like they couldn't do it by themselves. That's why they hired you. So you have to understand, like, it takes so much effort and so much emotional energy for you to care about this individual enough to make their goals your goals.
Yeah.
And it has to be authentic. And so I'm just trying to explain, like, basically a little piece of caution to everybody listening, that like what Jabari is talking about here is so fucking difficult.
It is
to do every day, because you have to remember you're waking up at 4:30. You have to remember maybe you missed some meals because
you got 4
had so
kids.
many clients.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you have to put this client's goal at the top of your list.
Absolutely.
And have to put all your own shit aside for all that time that they're there.
And that's
and
probably
it's difficult to do, man.
I will tell you that's probably the biggest, hardest part to translate over to a new trainer. Because a lot of times people go after a profession or a career with their own selfish ambition.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Almost always. But the winners in whatever career, you can look at any career, I don't care what it is. The winners are the people that say, I'm going to sacrifice me for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I give them what they want, I just know that they're going to give me what I need.
Delayed gratification.
It's delayed gratification. And so I tell people, I burned both ends of the candle for years, and I still do. And there's nothing more gratifying to me. And this is real. This is not fake. There's nothing more gratifying to me than a new person and a new journey.
Yeah.
Like I wake up for that every fucking day. The new person, I just got a new client yesterday. She just she's really professional and owns a business, and she had her company print up a check for me and brought it for her first 20 sessions. I was like, this is cute. Thank you. But once she gave me the check, I set the check down. I didn't even look at it until after she was gone. Because we're starting a new journey. That's more gratifying to me than anything else, than any amount of money I make, than any amount of trainers, any recognition we get for the brand. I get to start day one with a brand new person. And some of my trainers ask me, dude, you still get excited over a new client? All the people
how could
that
you not?
Every day.
Yeah, how could you not? That's
Every
amazing.
day. When I see a new person walk in the gym that's not even my client, I go up to them, introduce myself, make myself acquainted with them. And somewhere along their journey, I pull them to the side and say, hey, I've been watching. I see what you're doing. I like that. Keep going. Here's where you at right now. Lock in. Stay focused. Because that journey, getting someone from point A to point Z, and whatever that point Z is for them, that fulfills you greater than anything else. And to the point that you made about the traditional route of business and what people would say, or, you know, this is what you should do, or this is what you shouldn't do, or here's the more systematic way of doing business. To this day, I've never printed a flyer. I've never made a business card. And I've never asked one person to train with me. I've never been like, hey.
It's all referral.
It's all referral. I've never even told someone, hey, I'm a trainer. I'm looking for clients.
Right.
Never.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Not one time.
That's pretty crazy.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
And so everything has just been word of mouth. But I've learned in other business ventures that I used to be the guy that knocked on the door. I used to be the guy that handed out business cards and all of that. And what I learned in my experience with that is none of that replaces a one-on-one connection with a person and them feeling that you really believe in them.
So I love that. And I want to say that that's a beautiful thing. And I want to go back to, like, you know, there's nothing better than someone starting their journey. If we go back to this is something that correlates really well with our business, because we do have business cards. We do have our staff go out and try to introduce themselves to new people. But what you're saying is the most important aspect of it, and this is the most frustrating part. If you send people into a system, for example, where you're not genuinely caring about that individual, you are not investing in that individual, figuring out their why and helping them get to their goal, you're just speeding up your business's demise.
Yeah.
Right? You're sending them into a broken system. It's like, hey, you're a Mexican restaurant saying, hey, here's all these free taco coupons, and people come in and the tacos taste like shit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so, like, it's so important that, like, hey, once you got your systems figured out, hey, maybe all that energy you're spending trying to, you know, hustle and make new clients, maybe you should take all that energy and put it into the clients you currently have, and they'll start telling their friends.
And that's what I tell. I'm not necessarily anti any marketing. You know, we're getting ready to go into another phase of the business where there's going to be a marketing strategy and campaign. You know, yeah, that's going to be necessary. I'm not anti that. But I think on the onset, most people focus so much on that and not as much on the person that's sitting right in front of them.
Acquiring versus retention.
Well,
Like-
not even that. There's a book called Word of Mouth Marketing that basically highlights how much more likely a person is to go try out a business if it's coming from a recommendation of a friend.
Because it's an experience.
Yeah, dude. And it's like,
If I don't have if I don't have that experience with Luke, I don't even give a shit of what S2 is.
you could you have got one of our business cards or a flyer?
Could have had all
Wouldn't
of
have
that.
wouldn't
But
have
it
made
was
a difference.
something about what Luke said, how he said it, the smile he had on his face, the energy that he had, that made me say, I don't know much about this. It seems kind of supplementy, but I'm going to go say what's up to the dude. It's something about Wyatt's passion of him starting something new, fresh out of high school, wrestled in high school, not really knowing where he's going to go in life, but he's on fire. That's like, I'm going to spend $200 today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send some clients over there. And it's something about those clients' experience when they come back to me. Say, man, that guy Luke, I like him. That guy Wyatt, he's green, but I love him. That makes me say, you know what? I'm going to send a few more clients. And those few more clients become, I'm going to send trainers. Those trainers become, I'm going to send clients. Those clients become, I'm going to go back to the trainer, and the trainer sends more clients. And before you know it, I don't know how much money y'all make off of the TUF Club every month, but it starts to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow because he gave me an experience. That's what I love about Apple products. Steve Jobs gives you an experience. When you open up the iPad, it's like, wow, this thing is beautiful. I broke my other iPad Pro, so I just got this bigger one a couple days ago. And I've had the same iPad for 3 years. Mm-hmm. It's an iPad Pro. It does the same shit.
Right.
But when I opened up that box to this one, it was like, damn, this is an experience.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
How glossy the screen is. There's no prints anywhere. The wrapping that's around the damn thing and how you unwrap it. The arrows that say, pull this tab, pull that tab. The way the box slides up, it's clean. It's just crisp. It's an experience.
Yeah. And everybody tries to copy it.
And they can't. They can't do it. They can't duplicate it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I try to, even when we built out the gym, Luke came up the other day and he pulled me to say, said, man, this location, this facility is really nice. Well, because I wanted to give the trainers a competitive advantage. When they walk up the stairs, I want the first experience to be an experience. Damn. What's this big ass piece of red turf in the middle of 2 pieces of green turf? What's that about? Well, that's the danger zone. What's the danger zone? You'll find out. What's this boxing ring over here? Like, are y'all MMA or y'all boxing? No, it's just a boxing ring.
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay. And the flow of it's an experience. And as we grow, the difficulty that I've had, yeah, there it is up on screen. But when you walk up, that's my guy Craig Sutherland. And this was before we put the red turf in, so it's an older picture. I need to get an updated picture. But when you see that, you wouldn't imagine that this facility's in Kansas City.
Yeah, man. It's
like it has like a New York vibe.
It's got a New York, Chicago vibe.
Warehouse vibe.
It's a warehouse vibe. You got dumbbells and cable machines and weights and squat racks, but then you got a boxing ring. Well, what's the boxing ring? But then you got turf. Well, do you train athletes? Yeah, some. You train boxers? Yeah. Do you do any MMA? Yeah, we got about 8 or 9 UFC guys. Guy that just fought Saturday, lost his belt. It's okay, but he'll be back. He trains out of there. Yeah, we got all of that. You guys got bodybuilders? Yeah. We just had 2 trainers get pro cards. Yeah, we got it all. In one spot? Yeah. And now the challenge is next phase, next level. How do we create that experience on an even greater scale and keep that experience when you walk in?
Gotta have the same quality, yeah.
Wow, what is this? Is it a public gym? Yeah, we got members. Is it a private gym? Yeah, we got that too. Well, can I bodybuild here? Can I lift really heavy and throw the weights? Yeah, we got that too.
And is it 24-hour?
We're gonna get there.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know.
We're gonna get there. Can you get juice there? Yeah. Can you get grab and go food there? Yeah. Can I just come by and pick up my meal prep? Yeah.
What's the meals you guys choose?
We'll talk.
I'm like, I didn't know it was a good one or not.
Yeah, we have a couple different meal prep companies that we use, but we're working on something that
in-house.
Yeah, we're working on something. So
cool, man.
Yeah. That's even with us here, you started shopping with us when we had like 3 stores or even less than that, maybe 2, and it is hard to as being a company that's also really focused on customer experience and making sure that we're doing right by customers and making sure that our employees are all on the same level. the scalability, once you start opening more locations or growing, your location into doing more things, it does become difficult to do, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited because if anybody's going to do it, for the last, 30 minutes we've been talking, I believe in you now. I'm like, dude, you're going to do it for sure.
Yeah.
But it does become hard, man, because something else I was going to bring up when you were talking too. Me and Jeff always used to talk about, what the most fulfilling aspect of our job is. And we'd always, after, a long day where we both saw, 100 transactions a piece, and we had, everything that you went through with Wyatt, we did that 5 or 6 times. And then, on top of that, we had, 50 other people. And at the end of the day, you're just emotionally drained, like completely drained. But fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you did everything you could to make sure those people were getting the best possible results, there's no better feeling in that.
Yeah.
But it is a grind. You know what I'm saying? It is a grind. Like you were saying, burning the candle at both ends. It does get to the point where you feel like, man, how long can I keep this up?
Yeah.
How do you manage that feeling? Because obviously I can tell that's the way that you approach every single day.
Yeah.
With having a family, with having kids, with having, your kids that are high level athletes. So you got to go, now you're hauling your kids around to go to their different sporting events. How do you manage all that? Because, dude, I have 3 kids myself, and dude, sometimes it's freaking hard.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult. And I tell people, as time goes on, I'm getting better in every area of life, especially dealing with the kids. Now, I've been fortunate enough because of my career path that most of what my kids do, we do in-house. And my kids are homeschooled. So that changes a lot. But, because they're homeschooled and, they're usually in school 3, maybe 4 hours a day. Like today, my twins, 13-year-old twin girls, at 3 o'clock, they'd be at the gym. And they'd be there from 3 to 6. They get their workout in, whatever little work I need them to do around the gym, gather towels, whatever it is. That's their thing. They're invested into this. My son and my daughter, my younger son and younger daughter, like I said, I raised them in the gym. My daughter that's 8, she lives like at least a semi-professional athlete right now. She's training. She's getting ready for indoor track right now. And so she's got her first meet in January. And the majority of her day is school, and then she's on the track. She's one of the fastest in 100 and 200 in the country. At 8,
sick. That's
real. And she loves it, okay? So I want to say that. It's not like I'm forcing her to do this. She loves this. It's funny, when I was in the basement, she would come, and since she was probably 3 or 4 years old, she's been giving people workouts, like literally. So a couple months ago, I had her in on a Saturday. I had a bunch of clients on a Saturday. I think I was getting ready to go out of town or something. And so I brought her in. She had just got done working out with her track coach, who's one of our trainers. But she was like, "Daddy, I feel like training today." "Oh, you do?" "Yeah, I feel like training today." So, okay. I said, "Stephanie, my daughter's going to give you your workout today." And she's looking at me like, "Okay, that's cute." So, "No, for real, she's going to give you your workout today." I said, "Baby, she's doing legs today. Go ahead and give her a workout." She's like, "Okay, you got 4 sets of body weight squats, alternating lunges to 20 in place. We're going to do 4 sets, and you got a 30-second break in between each set." And the whole gym is looking like, "No, this isn't real." So she loves it. So I've been able to integrate that into my life, into my business. But for a while, it was hard. You got to keep in mind, I started with 4 cones and a jump rope in a basement with nothing in it, just cement floors. Okay. Well, how do you get to the point where you purchase equipment and doing all of it? I mean, we got a full gym. That's $80,000, $100,000 worth of equipment in that gym. How do you get to that point in 6 years? Well, starting out, I Grubhub. Okay. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I was the dude going around in between clients. This was my schedule. I wake up at 4. I got a client at 5. I got clients from 5 to 9. 5 to 11, I'm sorry. 5 to 11. From 11 to 2, Grubhub had a shift. I worked the 11 to 2 shift. My son and I, 3, 4, 5 months old, we're going around picking up orders, dropping orders off from 11 to 2. I'm taking that money now, I'm sitting it to the side. I go back and start training from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, okay? From 6 to 11, there was 2 shifts. It was a 6 to 9 and a 9 to 11 shift. And so I would go home. My house was right on the border of the region, the Grubhub region that I was in. So I could sit at the crib and wait until I got an order. And that was a guaranteed $12 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So I might get 1 order that night, or I might get 15 orders that night. But I Grubhub, and I tell people, I Grubhub my way to a gym. And so I got on OfferUp, I got on Craigslist, and I started buying used dumbbells. I remember the first time I had 10 people in the basement training with me. And one of the guy's basement that it was, everybody probably wants to know whose basement was it?
Yeah, man, that's a huge question. Like, you're talking about some dude's basement in Olathe.
I used to be a private banker at UMB Bank, and one of my colleagues, who's one of my closest friends in the world, his name is Chad Clement. And Chad Clement had this beautiful house in Olathe. And when I started training, he was like, he's a marathoner. So he does ultra marathons and marathons. That's what he does. And so that's the basement right there. That's Daisha. She does a lot of our media operations and stuff like that. But
that's a nice basement.
No, it's okay. We was going through some rehab stuff with her. But the basement started, that's the signature wall. That's Sammy Watkins' wife, Taylor Watkins, that used to play here with Kansas City. He plays with Green Bay now. But that signature wall was a wall where everybody came in and signed the wall. That was the black wall over to the left of her was a chalk wall that I wrote everybody's workouts on. Brittany Mahomes and I filmed a commercial down there in that basement. It's crazy. Cool. But the basement was just concrete, asphalt. I had 10 people in that basement, in Chad's basement, who, by the way, just said one day, I'm getting ready for a marathon. I want you to give me a workout. So he was working out at Orange Theory and Lifetime Fitness at the time and loved Orange Theory, like swore by it. And so I came in, I gave him a workout, and I'm thinking this is just a one-time thing. You know, he and I are close friends, but this is just a one-time thing. He's like, man, just give me a workout in the basement. I had 4 cones in the jump rope. I set these cones up into a certain order, and I had him doing a lot of footwork drills and stuff like that. And afterwards, he's like, man, I really love that workout. When you coming back? I said, I'm not coming back. This isn't a gym, bro. I don't have any equipment. I'm just practicing some stuff until I figure out what my next move is going to be. He was like, no, I want you to come back. Come back on Tuesday. So I came back Tuesday. When I got there Tuesday, he had a key for me. He said, here's a key. He said, if you're going to be training people in Johnson County, you can utilize my basement. They can come here and train. I want to see what you can make out of this.
That's dope, man.
How awesome is that?
And I was like, there's no way I'm going to turn this into a gym. But because he believed in me, it's like, okay, well, what do you have left to do but turn it into something? Because he's believing that you can, whether you believe you can or not, which is the energy that I give to the client. Whether you believe you can or not, I believe in you.
Yeah.
So stay committed to me because I believe in you. Because somebody was committed to me that believed in me, whether I believed in me at that moment or not. And so that one person turned into like 10. So at this time, we've got 10 people in the basement. There's no weights, just some bands and some cones. And now I've got like 5 jump ropes, no weights. I remember the first day I walked in there was some used from Play It Again Sports, some used 15s and 20-pound dumbbells. And it was like it was a parade. Oh, my God, we got weights, we got dumbbells, what the heck? And so I said, I'm going back tomorrow as soon as my Grubhub money hits, and I'm getting the 5s and the 8s. So now we got 5s, 8s, 10s, and 15s. No, 5s, 8s, 15s, and 20s. And they're like, oh, we're creating a gym now. Here we go. Okay. And then, I went through OfferUp, and it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a hustle until it's not. But the thing that I will say, which is very probably similar to you all when you started with one store, you wasn't focused on anything else. Then you get 2 stores. I'm not focused on anything else. And you get 3 stores. I'm not focused on anything else. And you just stay locked in, and before you know it, you got a brand. What happens, and this is what I'll tell anyone that's listening or watching, I don't know if you guys are on YouTube or whatever, but anybody that's listening or watching, what happens in this process is people get distracted with a whole bunch of other shit. Oh, man, I can go over here and do this and make some money. Oh, I can go over here and do that and make some money. Oh, man, things are tight. Let me go over here and do this. No, stay the course.
Just playing whack-a-mole,
Like you said before, you actually speed up the demise of your business by trying to do a bunch of shit while trying to grow a business. Bill Gates was not focused on anything else other than software. I promise you that. And if he had started focusing on something else other than software, we would not have Windows today. Steve Jobs wasn't focused on anything other than putting that damn thing on your desktop, in your kitchen, on your table. He didn't give a shit about nothing else. Anything else that anybody else is doing, it doesn't matter. This is what I'm focused on. This is my mission. That's all I did for 6 years. As I stayed focused on just that, I Grubhub to make more money to buy more equipment. And then I bought a rower. Then I bought Bosu balls. Then I got more dumbbells. Then I got used equipment that people had in their houses. Yeah, let me get that total gym. I know what to do with it. Yeah, let me get that little pieces of remnant turf. I know what to do with it. Yeah, let me get that bike that you ain't used in 10 years. I know what to do with it. Oh, let me get that old stepper that everybody says is ancient that's still in my gym today, because I know what to do with it. Because I was just focused on where I was going. My mind wasn't focused on anything else. And I can promise that you all were the same way. You got one store. Damn, we got this one store. How many clients we got today? Okay. We only saw 20 transactions today. That's okay. We'll get back after it again tomorrow. We saw 22 today. Okay, that's fine. Damn, we saw 60. Okay, I stayed the course with just everyday people and giving them everything I had. And then one day I get a phone call from a lady named, we call her Eggie. Her name is E. Grace. She's a big social media
Stiletto
influencer.
me up.
The Stiletto me up. Okay,
On
I get a
Instagram.
phone call from her. And she says, I just had a baby and I've had a breast augmentation. I want to work out. I want to get in shape. Cool. Started training her. I didn't know who she was from, Adam down the street. She becomes a major influence into my business. From her, because I'm staying the course, I get a phone call one day from Kayla Nicole Brown.
AKA Travis Kelce's. Is that current girlfriend or ex-girlfriend right now?
I don't know. Ex, I think. But I get a phone call from her. Can you train me? Yeah, I got it. I can train you. Okay. That goes to Brittany Matthews, now Brittany Mahomes. Can you train me? Yeah, I got it. No problem. That goes to the next person. Then I get a phone call from a lady named Dina Marto in Atlanta. Okay, that's cool. But then she introduces me to Rick Ross. Then she introduces me to T.I. Okay, that's cool, but I just stay the course. Most people, there's me at Rick Ross's house, me and Rick Ross hanging out. I was
Did he get lap band or something?
He did get lap band a few years ago.
Or gastric sleeve?
He
looks great.
I can't remember if it was lap band or gastric sleeve, but he works his ass off.
Yeah.
For real, he works his ass off.
He's got a great business mind too.
One of my favorite videos.
He's got a great business mind.
Yeah, he does.
Recently
Incredible.
Rick Ross at his new house with the cows.
So that's at
he
his
got
new
the
house.
cows that
Yeah.
he got delivered.
Yeah.
That was the funniest video.
Yeah, that's at the promised land.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I tell people it's not about that. It's about all the consistency that led up to that.
Dude, that doesn't happen unless you're willing to say, fuck it, I'm going to go deliver for Grubhub.
Right, exactly right.
Doesn't happen.
Nope.
Doesn't fucking happen. You don't
no
have
way.
a picture with Rick Ross unless you were like, dude, I'm gonna make this Grubhub thing happen. And that the problem
whatever
with
it
that
takes, man.
is
Whatever
most,
it takes.
most
Whatever it
fucking people are too prideful, or they have too much quit in them, or they don't understand that, like, you know, it's not going to be pretty in the beginning to get where you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
They don't love the grind.
They don't love the grind.
They're above it, man.
They don't love that shit.
The first stipulation of success is don't quit.
Don't quit.
Oh, dude. You know how many people me and Kyle both had our degrees, right? But I don't know if you're gonna know this, but we started working at Supplement Superstore when we were 19, 20 years old.
I was Wyatt.
Yeah, dude, I was 19 years old.
In Springfield?
Yeah, making minimum wage.
Wow.
So like what I'm saying is, like, people are like, dude, you really work at a supplement store? And then when we had a degree, like, I'm now 22, graduated from college, like, you still working at that vitamin shop place? Yeah, I'm not like, so it's like, just, you got to deal with all that. Like, I'm not too cool. I'm not too good too. I'm not above.
At all.
Because, like, I know where I'm going. I know how it looks right now, but delayed gratification.
Where'd you get that vision, dude? Because obviously
we had a lot of help. We had a really great mentor. We had a really great leader. You know, who instilled that in you?
Yeah, I come from 3 generations of entrepreneurs. So my grandfather was an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. And now my brother and I are both entrepreneurs. So part of that is just, you know, there's something in you. You know, I started early, self-employed. You know, my brother had a mortgage business. I was 19 years old. It was like, I'm not going back to college. I'm not going to play ball anymore. I'm done. I'm going to do mortgages at 19 years old. Well, that was right during the mortgage boom, 2002, 2003, 2004. So imagine being 19 and being able to make $8, $9, $10, $12,000 a month. You do a lot of silly shit. But what it did, I always tell people, yeah, the silly shit happened, but I'm thankful for it because it allowed me to see that I could make an undetermined amount of money on my own effort. Someone didn't have to give me a certain amount of money and say, this is what, you know, you can make. And then I'll determine this or determine that for you. So that put something in my head then. And then, you know, you get a family and then you kind of go the corporate route. I worked for Lowe's. I was a customer service manager for Lowe's. Then I went back self-employed and started doing investments in insurance. Then I got sick, started having seizures. That's a part of the story. Started having seizures out of nowhere.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 26. And just out of nowhere for like 3 years, I had seizures. So it's about 29, 30. I was 27, so it's about 29, 30. And then at 30, I decided I was going to go back to corporate. And UMB had recruited me to be a banker for UMB, which fit along the lines of being a mortgage loan officer and a financial advisor. And so part of what I've done is taken everything that I've learned in every career path, the customer service side of being a customer service manager at Lowe's. When Lowe's was making a run to take over Home Depot, okay, at that time when I was there, Home Depot was the daddy of all daddies when it came to that. Lowe's took them over. I was there during the run where they were sponsoring Jimmy Johnson and all that. And so customer service was at the top of the food chain. And so that's what we talked about all the time is customer service, customer service, customer service. How does that customer feel when they walk into the store? Okay. When they get to that front line to check out, how do they feel? When they come to the customer service desk, how do you handle that person? I kept that in my back pocket. That's in the back of my mind. The idea that I could make an undetermined amount of money with effort was in the back of my mind from being a mortgage loan officer. When I became a financial advisor, it was all about doing a great job so that those people will refer me their friends and their family and making it a family feel, okay? I was my twins' first daycare. So I've had my kids with me in every career that I've been in. I was going to people's kitchen tables asking to invest $400,000 of their money while I'm rocking my twins in their car seats, okay? That's just intestinal fortitude. You got to make it happen no matter what. But taking that mindset of creating that experience when you get to their table that they feel like family. When I sit down at the table by the end of the presentation, they're going to ask me, do I want something to eat? Do I want a soda? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do my kids want something? That's that family feel that you get when you come to the TUF Club. When I got to UMB Bank, that was more of the elite level, understanding what elite level people want, how they want to be treated, how they want to feel. Because UMB Bank, even though we didn't agree while I was there, I learned a lot because it's like the supreme of supreme banks here in Kansas City for the elite. Okay, how do they like to be treated? How do they like to be handled? How do they like to be attended to? And so that became something I put in my back pocket that I can remember, that I keep. And then once I got into the fitness world, ironically, you said that I train trainers. The original name of the business was TCKC, Trainers Club KC, because from the beginning I wanted to lead leaders or train trainers. And so we have a program with NASM where we're the only boutique gym in the Midwest and one of 3 in the country where I can certify as many trainers as I want with a NASM certification. Well, I've been...
And you're the one who can appoint them as certified.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so I've been paying for that service since day one I was in business. I went and got that first. So people say, well, damn, you got 11 trainers now. But for 5 years, I was paying for a service with no trainers. I was paying to have access to the curriculum to go certify as many trainers as I wanted to with no trainers. So that vision was from selling investments in insurance and being a private banker. How do you control the education of your industry? I want to be in control of the education of the industry. I want to control the point of the trainer before I control the point of the client. Mm-hmm. Okay, what is the trainer learning? I want to control that. And if I control that, then I can dominate forever. Mm-hmm. Because now I'm sending fish out.
Yeah, your consistency's built in.
The consistency's built in. So
yeah, you got to be careful when you hire somebody who's got prior experience, because sometimes their prior experience
can't teach an old
dog
new tricks.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. And you find yourself breaking down that. And so the vision came from a lineage of visions along the way. But the ultimate vision has always been doing something for people that they both want, need, and can afford. Whatever that is. Because I'm a people person. I say that I'm in the fitness industry, but I'm really in the people business. I'm a people person. Do I have a product or service that they want, need, and can afford that I can be passionate about? That's the vision. But the series of visions came from the series of different things that I've done in business. This is a 6-year journey that's really a 20-year journey.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and you were lucky enough to have that spark. And what was that guy's name?
Chris Clement?
Chad Clement.
Chad Clement.
That's my guy.
Because it sounds like you probably you had dropped enough to him along the way that he was like, he already knew. He already knew what you needed to be doing.
Let Chad tell it. He's like, man, this dude is he's different.
Yeah.
You know? And I do think, just like you all, or any person that ventures out, that goes into that wilderness, goes into those woods, you know, any warrior that's going to war, there's something a little different. I like to say there's something a little off about that person. They're a little different. They're a little special. They're a little touched because you got to go out there and face that bear, and most people not willing to do that. Back to the point that you asked me about the family and the sacrifice, I sacrificed my whole family, and I still do to some degree because I'm a bigger picture person. The overarching picture is this community that I'm creating is going to be the community that saves my family.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, there are probably some phenomenal influences on your family.
Oh, my God. Me and my son, it's funny. We went to the last Chiefs home game. And, of course, we trained, like, Chris Jones' wife and Frank Clark's wife. And, you know, there's a number of them. It's almost like something that they do when they come to Kansas City. They find out where to work out at. Oh, I work out at the TUF Club. Okay, good. I'm going there. And so we were in Chris Jones' suite. And so the guy at the ticket thing on the club level, he sees my son. He's like, hey, man, what are you excited to do today? Who are you going to go see? It's like, I'm going to go watch the game with my dad. But now keep in mind, he's 5, about to be 6. And he's like, I hope at the end of the game I get to see Patrick again. Well, he's 5 years old. His frame of reference is my daddy knows Brittany and Patrick Mahomes. It changes his whole trajectory in the way that he thinks. The dude is looking at my son like, yeah, okay, you're going to meet Patrick.
Yeah.
Not knowing that his dad was in Dallas for 30 days with Brittany getting her ready for their wedding. The guy doesn't know that, but my son does. My daughters do. Mm-hmm. So where their mentality is at a whole different level.
Perspective, dude.
Their perspective is at a whole different level because I decided to Grubhub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they know they can.
Because I decided to take Chad's key and say, yeah, I'll see if I can make something out of this.
And, dude, to back it up even further, the reason you decided to do those things is because you grew up in a family where you saw people taking risks. You grew up
Absolutely.
in an entrepreneurial family where you saw other people doing that.
Yeah. You knew you could make an undetermined amount of money based on your
basically
effort.
Like every generation, the perspective is widening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So now that's a great point because my twins, they play this game where they're entrepreneurs. They own businesses. Okay. And then every summer we live on a main street and they go out with a lemonade stand or they go out with whatever.
Love it.
And so I came home one day. I'm pulling into the drive. I'm trying to pull into my drive. I don't know what the fuck is going on. All this traffic. My kids have the traffic backed up on the street because everybody is stopping to buy little snacks that they bought. So they came to me with a business plan. This is crazy. My twins and one of our trainers, Christina Perry, her daughter, they came to me with a business plan. Here's our business plan. Here's how much money we need. Okay. Here's what return I want on my money. Okay. And we took them to Costco. I bought them everything that they wanted. I got their table. I got the chairs that they wanted, everything. So, okay, this is your cost for business.
Teaching them
you
interest.
You come out with the price point of what you're going to sell everything for. Because you got to factor in my return that I want on the money. They did it. They sold out all the shit in like 48 hours. They came and said, Daddy, here's your money. I said, keep the money. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. They went out and bought some more and did it again the next weekend. Sold out in like 48 hours. It's in their mind already. My daughter, I don't recommend that any kid does this. We had a stern conversation. But she saw my credit card sitting out. Takes my credit card and goes to
something on the
website, some website where you can do like drop ship, where you can create like clothing. I think it's called Printify. She goes to Printify and she creates all these little hoodies and shit. And so every week, some shit's coming to the house. And mother's like, check your credit card statement because your daughter's got a lot of crap coming to the house. These packages keep coming. And she's only hit my credit card for like $20, but this is more than $20 worth of shit that's coming in the house. So I go to my credit card statement, and she's spent like $250 on this stuff. And I'm like, she said, well, Daddy, I was creating. I know I should have asked you. But I went to use the card, and I was like, I'm not going to use it. But then the card was already on file because I guess you had a Printify account at some point, and it was the same card on file. So I was just like, my dad isn't going to trip because I'm going to create this product. And then if everybody likes it, I'm going to create a store where people can go online. I'm going to create a website for free, go online and sell this stuff on the store. I'm going to see if my daddy will sell it to his clients. Damn, I can't really be too mad.
Yeah. But
you can't take daddy's credit card and do that. But I can't be too mad because her mind is like, I want to create my own money too.
Mm-hmm. And she has a natural market. And
yeah, she's got a natural market.
She's literally like, hey man, I see all these people following my dad. They'll probably want to buy this hoodie.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely been that. But the point that I would make to anybody is, you know, I have a real why. It's not ironic that I started the business 6 years ago, coming up in March. My son would be 6 in January. So I had 3 girls and a son. Now, I don't love my son more than I love my girls. But I love my son more than I love my girls. Okay? Because it's my son. And I think every guy, that's him right there. That was when we first started. He's doing pull-ups in the basement. He's like 4 months old there.
Getting it.
Kyle can relate. He's got 2 older daughters and a
that's him
son.
with Russell Crowe.
Oh,
so we actually went to the Clippers game, the playoff game against the Golden State Warriors, and that's him chilling. Russell Crowe seen the dude in the stands.
The gladiator for all of our listeners.
Yes, the gladiator. That's really him.
Yeah.
He saw the dude in the stands, and after the game, he came up to me and was like, don't feel weird. I don't know you. I don't know if you know who I am. But I want a picture with your son. He's the coolest looking kid. So he wanted a picture with my son.
Let's be real though. He is looking pretty dapper right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That was his first time doing upright rows with a kettlebell. He's figuring it out. He was probably 2 or 3 there. You know, this is at the clubhouse in Mills Farm. He's with me every day. That was his first Chiefs game that we were going to. That was when I bought that was in my garage, in my driveway during COVID, him rowing. You know, I started the business. That was him inside of the space. So quick story. I originally said no on the space that we're in right now. And a guy that owns a juicery named Ruby Jeans, his name is Chris Good, we were standing there talking about what the possibility could be if I did take the space, putting the juicery and all that in. And Chris was like, hold on one sec. And he took my phone and he snapped that picture. And I was like, what the hell is this dude doing? And he came back and he edited it real quick on his phone. And he said, man, you got to take the space. And I saw my son and I was like, yeah, I got to take the space.
You're like, this is it.
That's it.
That's cool.
And so that's my son inside of the space. But that journey was a journey that I made with him. I wanted to give him as a male, you know, and unapologetically as a black male, perspective in life different than what most people would say that he could have. And so that journey started with him. And that was the reason why he was with me almost every day. He was with me probably 90 to 95% of the time for up until COVID. So
that's an amazing story, man. And I appreciate you sharing that depth because that's what this is all about, man. People, you know, fitness can be a very selfish industry. And so it's really, really fun to talk to people that have been able to create families, create memories through fitness. And I think that belief in yourself starts with fitness for a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It does.
When it comes to what's coming up with TUF Club, I want to get into that a little bit because we got into the basement, we got into the grind, we've gotten into the, and so now you're in this spot where you got 11 trainers, you can certify more trainers if you so choose to. You have this beautiful building that you're on the third floor of it right now. That's where the actual gym is. What's going on the first floor, second floor? Are you planning on expanding?
Yeah, we plan on expanding. So we're in talks right now with the ownership of the building. We've got some 3D renderings that we're going to release here pretty soon. Once we got one more hurdle to get over. Once we get over that hurdle, we're hopefully going to be breaking ground in that building February 1st. And so without giving away too much information, you'll be able to come there and get juice and food. You'll be able to come there and be a member. A lot of people have asked for a long time, will we ever offer memberships? And for a while, I wouldn't. I kept it boutique-y, but I figured out a way that we can keep it boutique-y and offer membership. So I
was going to say the privacy, I think, for those Chiefs players' wives, for example, it's like they need to have that privacy, right?
Yeah, but we have a unique building where the privacy will be kept. And each floor.
I was about to say the floor thing is like
it makes it helpful. Yeah,
each floor will be a different representation of the business, and so which is unique. I don't think I've done my market research, and there isn't a gym like that I've seen anywhere. Where, now I can remember 15, 20 years ago, you go to the East Coast, and there was clubs that you could go to, like nightclubs, that had 3-4 levels, and every level would be a different theme. Okay, one would be like modern hip hop. One would be like old school hip hop. One would be like old school R&B. And so every floor was a theme. So whatever your spice was, you could go to that floor and get your spice. And now you look at eateries. There's a place here locally called The Parlor.
Yeah.
That houses a number of different restaurants.
Food hall concept.
But then you open up on the main floor and it's like, well, I wouldn't expect that to be upstairs. It's a really nice little quasi upscale bar, nice little lounge area. You go down to the basement and it's like a speakeasy, really dungeon kind of feel, where you would go and maybe see like Eminem do a rap battle from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you go to the third floor.
And it's upscale and classy.
Yeah. And so taking that same kind of concept and creating our own flow and wave out of that, while still allowing the level of privacy. Older buildings have a lot of character. Those guys back in the day, they were so far ahead of their time. It's amazing. And so we actually have an elevator that you can access from the street level. And so one of the things that we're going to introduce is like valet parking and stuff like that. And so people will be able to valet and go to the elevator and
that's awesome.
Have their own privacy, because that elevator takes you all the way to the third floor. So
that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that, dude. I want to ask one more question on the business. Do you plan on starting these new ventures, these new offerings from TUF Club? Are they going to be under your name, under your umbrella, or are these friends that you're coming in to have co-lease into the space?
Well, a little bit of both. Okay, so even the juicery is already branded as another juicery. So what I want to do is bring them in as a brand to be responsible for our juice. Okay. Well, the name of our juicery is going to be Out the Mud Juicery, because they're one of the only juiceries that I found that is straight from the mud to the counter. They have their own farm, they have their own greenhouse, they pick their own fruits and vegetables. So everything that they put inside of the juice, everything they put inside of the smoothie comes from something that they've grown. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
So it's literally out the mud, but my story is out the mud. Okay. So the name of our juicery is going to be Out the Mud Juicery. And so, the meal prep will be something that we do in-house, but with another brand. They will be what powers that.
White labels it, if you will.
So everything that we do, all the way through to our trainers, they power the personal training at the TUF Club, but you got to come to the TUF Club to get the training. Okay, so it's branded through the TUF Club, powered by another brand because I want people to have the opportunity to have access to a platform that allows them to grow their own individual thing, but also cater to what we want to cater to as far as our crowd is concerned. And so I've always had the mindset of if you have a vision big enough to fit other people's visions inside of it, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the challenge is expanding your own vision great enough to fit other people's visions inside of it.
Correct.
You know, you have to be able to, I have to find place for you to win inside of my vision.
You had to redream a little bit though. Once you got that TUF Club opened up and got it going, you were like, nah, how do I?
Well, we outgrew it in the first 2 months.
Right.
And we've just kind of creatively made our way to make it work. Luke was in there a couple of weeks ago. We've kind of creatively made it work, but we outgrew it in the first 2 months because everybody was waiting on the TUF Club to come out of the basement because there was this brand that people knew about, but it was like, well, how do we get to it and where is it at? Because it was undisclosed. It was secret. And who's the dude that's running it? Because we never see him. Where is he? Who is this guy?
Right.
You know, he's a mystery. And so, because I never promoted myself. Again, it goes back to what we've been talking about the whole time. It was always about the clients.
Yeah.
It was always about the brand. It wasn't about me. I don't need you to see me. I need you to see what I do, what I create, what I put on display. And so I've always told people if your audience sees more of you than your client, then you won't ever have more clients. If your audience sees more of your client, then you'll always have more clients.
Mm-hmm.
So are you in the business of your audience seeing you, or are you in the business of your audience seeing your clients? Because what they care about is their results. And it's a gift and a curse thing with humans and marketing to them. People really don't give a fuck about anything but themselves. So let that play into your business. Make it about them. Mm-hmm. Don't make it about you. Go against the grain. Mm-hmm. Okay? Don't swim with the dead fish. Go against the current. Okay? Don't make it about yourself. Make it about the client because they want it about them anyway. They want to know what's in it for them. What am I going to get out of this? That's cool that you look amazing and you have a great body. Awesome. Great. Can you do that for me? And where's the proof that you've done it for other people? So from the beginning, I never made it about me. So that was always the mystery. So when we opened up and said that we're open for business, it was like gangbusters.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine because of everything you've talked about. It's been always about the client, and you haven't self-promoted. You don't have flyers. You don't have a business card. No. And so you just hear all these people going to your gym, getting these results. So like, well, where do I go? Who do I talk to? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And the level of like how much you don't need them, if you will. Like you don't need their business. You don't, that girl gives you this check that's starting off with you, and you're like, I'm going to set it right over here because I really, cool. Thanks. Like I was paying my bills before, but this is what's important is you getting these results. And so I think that really speaks to that, man. Yeah. You're in a spot now where you have this vision where other people can put their visions in it. Mm-hmm. Do you see yourself ever expanding outside of Kansas City?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Once we get over this last hurdle, I'm already on to the next city. Yeah. We're looking
Can you say where that city is?
We're looking at Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta. I've now gotten to the point with the help of everyone that's in there now, because again, this isn't a journey that you do by yourself. If there's no Chad, there's no TUF Club. Okay. If there's no Randy Jones, who was my first client at Mills Farm, then there's no TUF Club. And then if there's not those people that believed in the TUF Club at the basement, that got it to the crossroads, there's no TUF Club. And if it's not the people that's at the crossroads that believe in it, not Jabari, if those people don't believe in it, then it doesn't get to Atlanta or Chicago or Dallas or wherever the next one is going to be at. But I have clients in all three cities. And, of course, being down back and forth, getting Brittany ready for the wedding, earlier this year, I was in Dallas, for about 25 out of 30 days. And just being down there and going around the city and just being in the city. I've got 3 sisters that live in Houston. It's like, I like Dallas.
Dallas is dope, man.
I like Dallas.
One of my favorite cities.
But then I have of course, Dina Marto's in Atlanta. And so we have that connection down there. And then I have a couple of trainers that want to move to Chicago. But I have some clients in Chicago as well. And so those are the 3 cities right now, right off the top of my head, that we're looking at. And I want to be in a city where everything is upward.
Right.
Okay.
They're growing.
Yeah, where they're growing and they're progressive. They can see. I like to consider the TUF Club now at this stage as like an urban country club, which is unique. And so we're kind of a good melting pot. You can be in there. I mean, I've got clients in there that are multi-millionaires that are working out every day with people that make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy.
Special, man.
It's unique. It's special. But I think that's something that can be duplicated from city to city, because I think that's something that's missing in the fitness arena in a bunch of different cities. I think there's very few cities where you can get that feel, large scale, in pockets, yeah, but not large scale, where you can get that feel where that dichotomy of person can feel as equally accepted as this dichotomy of person. And then this dichotomy of person doesn't ever feel like this dichotomy of person is going to treat them differently because of who they are. So I think that's missing in cities. And so
for sure,
in the fitness world. And again, like I said before, I want to create the curve, not follow the curve.
Right.
I want to be ahead of the curve. I want the curve to have to come catch me.
That's exciting, man. I mean, I think that's awesome. And
I think you're going to have success, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
We have, man, you have all our support. We'd love to help you any way we can.
Absolutely.
You guys got some fun plans for Brittany's post-baby?
We'll see.
Bronze?
Yeah.
Bronze,
yeah,
born like last week.
Yeah, I'm happy for them. They, that's one of the coolest couples. Seriously, being around them personally, but even what they promote, they're one of the coolest couples, as down to earth. And
dude, think about how much they've done for Kansas City.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy, dude.
Can't be quantified.
One of the things that people always talk about LeBron, wherever he goes, he affects the economy.
The economy.
What that dude has done for the economy of Kansas City.
Well,
what she's doing now.
Yeah.
What she's doing with that soccer team.
That's what I was just about to say. Think about the soccer team.
That's the largest women's soccer facility in America.
The only women dedicated one, too.
First one ever. What's going on there? I'm hoping that Kansas City wakes up, because I know you guys have been here, 6 years now?
Yeah.
A lot of times you hear people say you can't do this in Kansas City, or Kansas City's too slow, and I've been telling people for a while, once Kansas City gets that one superstar, you can forget about it, because then the world is going to find out how cheap the cost of living is here, the amenities that they have to offer with education. It's a great place to raise a family.
It's a phenomenal city, yeah.
It's a great city if you're an athlete to come to, because there isn't this big city feel. There's not a lot. There's a conservative mindset. You stay out of the way. You stay out of trouble. How often do
Midwest
you hear
manners?
How often do you hear athletes coming here, getting in trouble, creating chaos? It just doesn't happen. And what this dude is doing for the economy is insane.
Yeah. He's just made all the right moves too, buying into the Royals,
bringing Whataburger.
Yeah, bring Whataburger.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And what not to mention his talent and what that talent has done to other stars that say, I'll come to whack-ass Kansas City just to play with him.
For sure.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that Travis would be like, yeah, restructure my contract so I can stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Travis he's no longer, he's chasing all-time best.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like.
And those two together, it's nuts.
Magic. Yeah.
They're literally like they're playing backyard football when we were kids. Like, I'm going to get my best friend that's probably smarter and more athletic than everybody else, and we're going to go on the team and we're going to go dominate. And that's literally what's
Read
happening.
each other's minds all the time.
It's nuts.
Mahomes will do something now, and I won't even like acknowledge it, but like if you'd have rewinded my life to like 6 years ago, I'd be like, that's the best football play I've ever seen. Now I don't even, I'm just like, yeah, that's just
like he's playing another sport. He's spinning off of dudes, throwing alley-oops in the end zone.
That was nuts.
He's elevating over dudes like Jordan, crossing the goal line.
That would have been the
that made me nervous, but I'm
yeah,
glad it was a touchdown.
that Jordan-esque play was like, man, we should have won that game.
But you don't get that if you're not. One of the things, and I digress before I guess we're getting ready to wrap up.
Sure.
But one of the things that I miss about sports now with kids, and I find myself with it a lot too. I'm really trying to force myself to make my daughter play more sports, even though she's incredible at track. She's phenomenal in gymnastics. Like, let's get out here and play soccer. Let's get out here and do this. People don't realize Pat was all-state baseball, football, and basketball in the state of Texas. The dude was getting recruited. He was a 4-star recruit in basketball. Okay, so when you see that dude elevate and put his hand on that dude and lean to cross the ball over the goal line, he's dunking on a dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real. It's that level of athletic awareness. When he's looking here and sidearming a throw,
that's baseball.
He's playing shortstop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then the football plays, and it's just like, and people don't realize he's an insanely freakish athlete. Like, the dude can really jump, and it looks like he's moving slow, but that dude is really faster than what you think. You're not catching him once he gets going.
Yeah.
And just to see that play out in the game and that the game moves that slow. Like, I was sitting at home and I was like telling everybody, you know, Pat's about to score a touchdown after Joe Burrow ran one in and started dog walking on the end zone. I'm like, you know, Pat is about to do something crazy because he's just aware of, he's like competitor at the highest level. Like, you're not about to one me up. That's not about to happen. And then you just see, damn, I thought we was going to score. We missed it. Damn, I thought we was going to score. We missed it. And here it is, third down. And he's like, fuck that. And he dunks on the dude. Boom. Touchdown. Let's go. And you just see him running to the sideline like, yeah. And looking over at the other sideline. And that's, you know, I shit ton of respect for Joe Burrow because he's a fucking stud. Because he's like, all right, cool. I'll one-up you.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just the athletic ability of Pat is insane. And then people don't realize that Brittany's a freak athlete. Ran track, cheered, played soccer, and was a pro soccer player. Okay? Freak athletic ability. Like, insane. Is crazy. But what they're doing for the city is nuts. And we've been blessed and fortunate to have Brittany a part of the brand now, coming up on 4 years. That's a huge blessing. And Brittany and I are pretty tight, and I really rock with her and support everything that she's doing. And she's supported the TUF Club, since day one.
These guys told me that you tried to get her on some S2 protein. Now she's drinking that biotech. Damn.
Hard to get her off what she owns.
Yeah, it's hard to get her off of what she owns, bro. It's hard.
I was like,
appreciate the effort.
Why? It's like, dude, I think we got her.
Yeah. She Yeah, we were close. But I think that there may be still a possibility somewhere down the road.
Okay.
Doors open,
baby. I just like the like I said.
She's really motivated to get back after this baby. So.
Is she?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Does she? Are they going to have more kids? You think?
Probably at some point. I don't think that she
is in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't think they're in a hurry. They're young, man. They're young. They got time.
Yeah,
tons of time. She got 10 more years.
Yeah.
If Eric Bieniemy is listening to this, after what we just talked about, he needs to realize that we don't let Butker kick a 55-yard field goal. We fucking
to tie it and give it back to Joe Burrow.
We put it in Patrick Mahomes' hands because I bet that I don't know what the statistics are, but I bet him converting that fourth down is more likely than Butker making it.
It actually was, statistically.
I'm like, this is a statistically dumb thing to do. What are we doing?
It happened twice. I don't make a habit of bashing the Chiefs for obvious reasons, but it happened twice this weekend. I seen it with TCU. I seen it with Kansas City. If I'm TCU, there's no way in the world I'm giving my running back the ball after that quarterback has single-handedly willed us back into this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm riding with that dude, and if we lose, then fuck it. We lost on that dude's back.
Right.
I can't have that dude at the podium with that level of emotion because I didn't put the ball in his fucking hands. And if I'm Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, I can't have Pat at the podium saying, I believe in the coach. This is what we're going to do. He's one of the best kickers in the league. The fourth downs were tough, but we had converted a few of them throughout the game. I can't have him say that. I gotta in a battle like that. He's warring. Like, people don't realize he's warring against Joe Burrow. I know it's the Chiefs versus the Bengals, but he's in a war against Joe Burrow. And you gotta let that dude go out on the fucking sword.
And the only thing I'll say to that, because I agree with everything you're saying, and I love it actually. But like when the 3-man rush clips Pat with his just by his foot, and he goes down on a 3-man rush.
Yeah,
hard to have a lot of confidence in that O-line to do it again on fourth down.
I gotta have confidence in Patrick Mahomes. I'm not having confidence in the O-line.
Yeah, Orlando Brown.
I'm not having confidence in the receivers. I'm not having confidence in anybody, but Pat is going to get it done.
You grab Wiley and Brown and you say, hey, listen, you guys have been getting freaking Mahomes tore up all game. This one play, you're gonna pull it together.
My dad said this. We talked about the game, and he said, at that point, you go in the huddle, or you call everybody over to the sideline and you threaten their mother, their father, their family, you threaten everybody and say, you have to do this or this is what's going to happen. And you make them go out there with that level of fear and to get it done. And then we all celebrate and cheer afterwards. Because if Pat gets that first down, then you can forget about it. The game's over.
Game's over.
Yeah, the game's over. He's such a gamer. He's such a competitor. And, he and I don't communicate like that, but being around him, there's a kindredness of, I see you, bro. I know you. I recognize that. And, like we said earlier, wars for warriors. You know another warrior when you see one. You can feel it. The energy is just like, I'm a fucking warrior. They had a glimpse. Brittany put up something on social media yesterday of him sitting on the couch with his daughter, and he loved being there with his daughter, but you could see him looking at the TV like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm ready to go to war. You could just see it. A warrior knows a warrior. And he's a warrior. He's a warrior. There's no other way to put it.
Dude, he was on Travis Kelce's podcast that he has with his brother this past week, and I listened to it, and there was like multiple times in there where he was talking shit to Kelce because Kelce either was not good at playing beer pong or he screwed up something when they were playing golf, or you can just tell that like Patrick, when he gets into something that's competitive, he's like locked in.
Oh, but
he doesn't like losing.
Yeah. What's crazy, Brittany's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany's competitive.
I bet.
And Brittany's tough. Like, Brittany worked out all the way up until like 4 days before she had the baby.
That's wild.
4 days a week. 3 to 4 days a week.
That's awesome.
Like, and in there, like one day was like, you going a little soft. Okay. I got you. I'm trying to make sure the baby gets here healthy. But I got you. She's tough. Like, she's in a little, I mean, there she is. It was pretty cool. So when they played the Rams, no, it might have been the Rams. For the Rams game.
Thanksgiving weekend,
they were showing video. They were talking about their daughter when they were interviewing Pat before a game. And they created this scrapbook and this digital scrapbook. And on the scrapbook, they had their little daughter in the gym doing all of this. So it was pretty cool. I was like, damn, we made
making memories, man.
Yeah, we made some memories. But Brittany's tough, man. She's tough.
That's great to hear, man, because I feel like, the media likes to obviously bash her and Jackson all the time and stuff. So it's cool that, someone who has a personal relationship with her.
Brittany is one of the coolest people and one of the sweetest people. Like I've heard people say, or you've heard the media say that she's mean or there's none of that. Brittany comes into that gym and it could be 30 people in that gym. And Brittany comes in there not with her nose up, and she could. Everybody knows Patrick's contract. Everybody knows who she is. She could. She come in there, she's cracking jokes. She's saying what's up. She's laughing with people. But the community treats her like she's one of us because she is.
That's great.
It's not.
I'm happy to hear that.
Brittany's in here and there's the red carpet. Nah. Brittany's here.
People like to throw stones, dude.
Yeah,
unless you're close to somebody, it's hard to know who they
Brittany
really are.
is as solid as they come.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If she was that kind of person, why would she pick? She didn't know me. Why would she choose? They shot that Bowls commercial at the gym. So that was a fun moment.
That's cool, man.
For them to shoot that commercial at the gym, it was
Dude.
pretty dope.
What Grubhub to that, dog.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, they shot that Bowls commercial at the gym. And that's the kind of love. Like Brittany came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to do this." I'm like, "Why are you even talking about that? Tell me what day, what time." It's good. That's the relationship. But if she was that kind of person, why would she pick to drive 30 minutes each way to Chad's basement and work out in the basement of a house that's not even mine?
Wild.
Why would she do that? Like, if she's that kind of person.
Yeah, she's such a, stuck up, nose up. Yeah.
Yeah. And Brittany.
She'd be paying you to come to her house.
If she's that kind of person, why would she say, Jabari, tell me what the situation is. I want you to help me get ready. I know that you got the business, but I want you to help me get ready for the wedding. Doing this on my own is going to suck. I'm going to fly you down. Like, why would she do that? There's nothing that great about me other than the fact that she sees a genuine person. What they don't understand about these people that have these large followings, because you got to say that with social media now, and those people are as famous as anyone else. Yeah, because they've got large followings, or because they play a sport, or because they're famous, that they're just an asshole. No, they're not. They get hounded every day, all day. So there might be a pocket or a moment where they're like, I don't want to be bothered for a second. She might have moments where she retreats back. It's like, I just want to live in my mom. I want to be able to come to the gym and chill with my daughter without someone snapping pictures, or without someone be like, yo, can you tell Pat I said, like, she's never received that. Never. Better yet, I've never one time I've been in their house in Dallas. I've never one time been like, Pat, can you sign this for me? Yeah. Never. I've never one time been like, Brittany, yo, can you throw me some tickets this week? Because that's what they get all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when the current thing went down, we have a framed jersey, number 23. That was my high school and college number. Current jersey that has a TUF Club on the back. Brittany hand delivered it to me.
That's sick.
That's cool, man.
No, I won't ask for an autograph, but I'll accept the plane ticket to fly me down and fly me back to my family on the weekend and fly me back on Monday. No, I'll accept the opportunity to send one of my trainers to her bridal shower, her bridal party in Miami that she flew her down for, paid for the training, paid for her stay while she was down there and flew her back. Yeah, I'll accept that.
Sure.
I don't need the signature. I got the relationship.
Right.
And to most people, that's not what's important. They want the clout, the
status.
The status.
Yeah.
I got the relationship, and I don't have to promote it. It's obvious. I don't have to promote it. I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to go over the intricate details of it or what happens,
Dude, it's also wild to think about, up until probably she was 22, and then Patrick gets, drafted, and then their life, their first year in Kansas City, somewhat normal.
Yeah,
but then that second year, dog, her life changed.
First year she was working part-time at Lululemon.
Yeah.
On the plaza.
Yeah, working out at One Life.
Yeah.
Like amongst
first
everybody.
Year.
Yeah.
And then
working part-time, she had quit playing soccer overseas because he got drafted, moved here. She was supposed to go back overseas, moved here. Started working at Lululemon. Her manager ended up crazy. Her manager ended up becoming her manager.
But that's a lot to deal with. You go from working at Lululemon to all of a sudden everybody is like weirdly obsessed with you. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
So to have somebody like you where it's like they can just
like
be
normal. Some of the shit that people send her, and some of the shit that they say is insane to me.
Oh, dude.
It's
I've only looked at
nuts.
one thing ever in like the last probably few years. And it was just the other day because I got on my Twitter and she made a tweet that was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so ready to like get this baby out of me,
Yeah.
And like all these people were like, that's really insensitive to all the people that have fertility issues.
Oh God.
I can't believe that you would even complain at the
And
unbelievable
literally
gift that you have
every
inside of you.
woman that has ever been pregnant
has felt
says,
that way.
I'm ready for this baby to come out of me. But Brittany says, and it's like, oh, the world is stopping. She's terrible. It's crazy. And she's
people are
literally
just the worst.
it's one of the sweetest, coolest, kindest people that I've ever been around.
And I'm sure she knows this, but that's just people projecting their own insecurity
Yeah.
and their own, not enough complex onto somebody else.
Her first year with me was the Super Bowl run. And like you said, literally it went from Pat's girlfriend got drafted, this dude that nobody really knows about, but Andy Reid moved up in the draft and got him. I mean, we're doing all right with Alex Smith.
Doing great.
We moved up and got this dude. This better work. But nobody really knows him. Nobody really knows her. The very next year, make a deep run.
Dude, 3 games in,
I'm on Alex Smith's
superstar.
train that year. I'm like, dude, Alex is our guy. He can take us.
It's buzzing. Deep. The next year. So the first year, he's sitting on the bench. Alex Smith gets us to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The very next year,
losing heartbreaking fashion to the Steelers.
Of course.
The very next year, Pat takes us all the way to the AFC Championship game.
Should have won it.
And if D Ford isn't lined up off sides, the game's over. Year 1, we're in Super Bowl. So it's like, man, this
and we
is
probably
crazy.
crush that.
This is crazy
They should have
buzz.
called that freaking.
This is
penalty,
crazy
but-
buzz. this is getting a little tricky here. Right after that, I start training Brittany. The next year, it gets out of control. Chiefs the hottest team in NFL. Pat just threw for 50 and 5,000. The Chiefs are the hottest thing going right now. Everything that Pat is doing is touching gold. Some of the shit is touching platinum. Well, I've always told people, and I tell my trainers, every trainer that I've had at the gym has been like, man, this dude's got a really dope business. Yeah. But that comes with certain scrutiny too. There's a lot of people that talk shit. With every success comes with some bullshit. Yeah, it was highly successful for Brittany and Patrick and their unit and their whole deal and the Chiefs in Kansas City. But then people just started bashing the fuck out of Brittany out of nowhere. It's like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm witnessing it. She's coming to the gym and I'm like, she's coming to the basement. And I'm like, this is nuts. Then one day she did something or said something and they got mad. I think it had something to do with Foxborough or some shit, and they got mad. And it was all over People magazine. So then I started getting all these phone calls. They're like, oh my God, we see your son online in People magazine. What the fuck are you talking about? Then I get this one phone call from his mom. And she's like, what did I tell you? Don't ever expose our kids to this bullshit. What is going on? Who approved People magazine to put our son in it? I said, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what this shit is. So I go out to the People magazine article. Well, what it was a video that we had posted of Brittany playing with my son in the basement. They took that video and put it on People magazine and was writing an article about Brittany bashing her. And so everybody's clicking on this article and it's like, who's the cool little cute kid? And it's my son. And he went viral. And I read the article and I'm like, but this isn't Brittany at all. Like, not at all. Highly competitive, tough as nails, but one of the sweetest people you ever want to meet. This isn't her at all. But that's what everybody says. So
get them clicks, dude.
Yeah, man. It's a business.
It ain't about being right, dude. It's about driving eyeballs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's clickbait, but it's been great having her a part of the brand and everybody that's come. Not just her. We've had a number of significant, Kayla was my first Chiefs
first lady, if you will.
First lady.
Yeah.
And I'm forever, she I talked to her a few weeks ago, and I'm forever indebted to her because I was training her at Two Light at their like apartment gym. And again, she could have worked with anybody in Kansas City. And she hit me up and was like, hey, I want you to train me. And up until, whatever she had going on personally and went back to LA, we had like a 3-4 year run. And from there, we ended up training a number of the Chiefs' first ladies. And so and that's been a cool run. But it's been great having everyone that's associated with the brand, every person that's played a part. There's people like Sarah Johnson or, like I said, Randy Jones, his wife Joan Jones, and, Jessica Peltzer. And
how do you say the Stiletto Me Up girl's name again?
Grace. We call her Eggy.
Eggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's like my little sister. She's another one. She's Instagram famous. And people bash her, not really knowing the real person. People say a lot of things.
That's crazy. And
not really knowing the real person. And I've been intricately involved in her life, her business, her life, everything for, that's a program, a 30-day program that we did with her. A program that I did with Brittany was really one that really kind of took us into orbit. But it was called Get Fit with Britt, or the Fit Brit program or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up selling a number of those, and it was cool. I used to be the front page. That's the commercial that Brittany and I think he's going to pull it up here in a minute. That's a commercial that we shot in the basement. And actually the guy that shot that, Billy, he works directly for the NFL, specifically for the Chiefs now. And so all the highlights and stuff that you see, like before games or at commercials or halftimes of the Chiefs, Billy does all that video work. Billy's incredible. But Billy's in this, but that's the basement.
That's amazing.
And
man.
so we shot.
There was a couch in the back.
Yeah, it was a
every
couch
basement's
because
gotta have
people
one.
would bring the kids, and so we needed a little waiting area or seating area.
Was Chad like when you were like, "Hey man, I got a leg press"?
Well,
I'm bringing the leg press.
Here's
down.
a crazy story. Here's this. I talk in stories because it kind of tells the tale. So Jorge Soler, who he was the MVP of the World Series last year.
Right.
He was here with with the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first lady that I ever had was Ladise Soler, his wife. We call her Lay. And Lay Soler was coming to the basement when there was hardly anything in the basement at all. And we had these lights, and I didn't know how to get the light brighter, and so it was dim. And she would bring her son, her and Jorge's son. And one day she shows up in a Rolls Royce Phantom, 2-door, coupe, drop top, custom. And she gets out with this tennis skirt with these spandex shorts underneath it. And so Chad lives in a neighborhood, and a very conservative neighborhood, like not a normal, upbeat.
Certainly not flashy.
Not flashy at all. Like the best vehicle, like the most flashiest vehicle that you might see in the neighborhood is like an Infiniti Q56 or something like that. But That's like, oh my God, what's going on? Okay. She pulls up in a white Rolls Royce Phantom, custom, and gets out with this tennis skirt. And so I was standing outside on the front step having a conversation with somebody, and I see this Phantom driving down the street, and I'm like, oh God. And Chad has nosy neighbors. Okay?
For sure.
And so I tell the person I'm on the phone with, hey, I got to call you back. And I called Chad, and I said, Chad, listen, Lay just got out of a Rolls Royce Phantom. She's getting her son out of the car. She has on a tennis skirt. Okay. And Lay is beautiful. Like, Lay is drop dead gorgeous. She has on a tennis skirt. And she's getting out of a Phantom. It's in the driveway. And he was like, what? I said, so if you get a call from one of your neighbors and they're wanting to know what you're running out of your house, just tell them that that's Jorge Soler's wife, and she's coming over to grab a little workout with a friend of yours. And he was like, what do you mean there's a Rolls Royce Phantom in my driveway? The top is down, it's sunny outside, and she's in a tennis skirt. It doesn't look that great, okay? Your nosy neighbors are going to feel a certain kind of way. Just let them know. And so we laugh about that now. Or one day Chad came home from work, and this would be regular. He'd come home 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And, the basement was kind of the place to be. Brittany and them would hang out. I used to play music videos. So instead of playing a song, I had this big TV, and I would play the music video as to give people something to watch and distract them. I wanted to create everything I could to make people forget that it was a basement.
Yeah, better vibe.
Yeah, better vibe. And so we would sit around and laugh about the music videos or watch music videos or whatever. And so it would be kind of normal for Chad to pull up from work. And now Chad at the time had a nice Cadillac SUV. And he was proud of his Cadillac SUV. Pull into his garage, he Great. He would pull up and there would be like a Rolls Royce truck and a G-Wagon, maybe 2, a Range Rover, a Porsche, a Bentley, sitting out in his, either on the street in front of his house or in the driveway. So one day he calls me, and I used to have a rule that you have to park on the right side of the driveway at a certain time because Chad needs to pull into his driveway. It's his house, you know. Yeah. Well, Sammy Watkins' wife was rushing in and forgot, and I was downstairs. I hadn't even thought about it. So you see one car parked on that side of the driveway, another one's going to pull in. And so then the other side is full. So now we've got like 6 people down in the basement. And it just happens to be these 6 of the right people. So at the top of the driveway on the left, you had a Rolls Royce truck. On the right, you had a new Range Rover. The bottom left, you had a Rolls Royce car.
Phantom.
On the right, you had a G-Wagon. On the street, you had a G-Wagon and a Porsche, and then you have the driveway, and then down from the driveway, you had 2 other foreign cars. So Chad pulls up. He's like, "Hey, Jabari." I said, "Hey, what's going on?" The music's blasting. It's loud. "Hey, what's going on? You good?" Yeah, other than the fact that I really feel uncomfortable asking you to move this Rolls Royce SUV and G-Wagon out of the driveway so that I could pull in. So I'm just going to park my normal Cadillac up here in front of these other cars and just walk in like I'm here for a workout too. And so you see Chad walking in the house with his suit on and his briefcase into the house. And so we laugh about that, but
that's got to feel good for him though, man.
Yeah.
Because
because he believed in you.
He believed in you. And he's like,
it's proof that I was right.
It's proof. It's proof of concept. It's like, look, So, I knew I was onto something. I knew that he had that in him. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, man.
Absolutely.
That's very cool.
Hey, we ask all of our guests one question when they come on here, and it's very important.
Most important thing we'll talk about all night or all day.
And that is, you got one place you can go in all of Kansas City for barbecue. Where do you take them? They just asked this to Kelsey, by the way, and he said Casey Joe's.
What do they want to eat?
They would like burn ends because I think that burn ends is Kansas City's thing,
dude.
I appreciate the level of thought you're putting into it.
I've got to be. So it's a tie.
Okay.
I think the real heart of Kansas City barbecue is always going to be Gates. And they happen to have amazing burn-ins. And right after Gates is Jack Stack. Okay? Then the other ones come. And I know a little bit about barbecue because my aunt had a barbecue restaurant and won the American Royal like 2 years in a row. And so I'm a little partial. I'm not going to give any names, but some barbecue restaurants cheat. They pre-cook the meat and then put it on the grill.
Oh, you're talking about Q39.
I'm not going to give any names. Some barbecue restaurants cheat. Okay? A real mark of a barbecuer is a person that has the ability to make the meat tender and flavorful from the grill or smoker to the table. Okay? Not from the oven to the grill to the table. Not from the stove to the grill to the table. From the grill or the smoker to the table. And so Jack Stack and Gates, I know, do that 100% of the time. And for me, that's where I would. Dina Marto just came in town a few months ago. T.I. did a concert here, and we had the opportunity to host T.I. like for the whole day. And so T.I. was like, man, I want some of this barbecue. So we riding around. It's me, Dina Marto, my videographer, and T.I. and T.I.'s crew. We're riding around the whole day. And so I was like, well, we can either go to Gates or we can go to Jack Stack. Now in Gates, you're not going to get the private room. Everybody's going to want your autograph. They're going to know who you are instantly. The food's going to be good. It's going to be a wild, crazy experience.
Mm-hmm. They're going to yell at you.
They're going to yell at you. How may I help you? You're going to feel a little uncomfortable at first, and then you're just going to feel like it's your auntie.
Yeah.
Okay? Or we can go to Jack Stack down here by the gym, and I can get the private room, and you can have your own seclusion. It's like, I need to have a private room, some conversations I need to have. Matter of fact, your videographer can't record this part. I need you to keep certain things. There's just some shit I got to talk about to get prepared for my next show. So I need the private room. So, okay, let's go Jack Stack. This is the craziest thing. And again, this is twofold in one, okay? I have a relationship with the people at Jack Stack. They know me. I always do meetings at Jack Stack if I got to meet someone down by the gym at Union Station.
Yeah, the Freight House District.
The Freight House, yeah.
That's my favorite one. It's got the best vibe.
Yeah, it does. It has a vibe. Okay, I love it. One of T.I.'s guys go in he tells them, go in, get the table reserved, get the section reserved. So I'm not going to give the manager's name, but I know him. He knows me. We're good. He's probably going to laugh if he listens and hears this. T.I.'s guy goes in and says, hey, we want to get the section. I'm T.I.'s management. So the guy's like, well, that section is for a birthday party. It's like 2:00. Section's for a birthday party at 4. I really can't give it away to you because they're going to come in and start setting up. It's like, bro, I got T.I. out here in the black truck. I just need the room. T.I. wants to eat. We want to, patronize your establishment.
Yeah, we're trying to give you money.
It's like, nah. T.I.'s guy comes out. Bro, they won't let us come in there and eat. Time out. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Okay. One thing. If a dude says, I learned this from a really wealthy dude. If the town drunk says the bridge is on fire, at least go check it out. He could be the town drunk. If he says the bridge is on fire, at least go check it out. Okay. If a dude says T.I. is in the car and he wants to spend a bunch of money on barbecue, give him the fucking room. Call the chick that's about to set up and say, I need to push y'all back an hour. We got a special guest here. Like, I promise you it's going to be worth it. He didn't do that. Mistake one. But he recovered the mistake. I come in. Hey, bro. Somebody just came in and said T.I. is out in the car.
What are you doing?
He's like, yeah, dude talking about T.I., man. Where's he at? T.I. is not going to get out of the car to come prove to you that he's T.I. It's not going to happen. T.I. is going to sit in the car and say, fuck it, let's go to another restaurant. So we got two options. You can either believe me or you can walk your butt out here to the car and just peek and see that it's T.I. and shut the fuck up and not say nothing because we don't want fanfare and let us get the room. Or you lose all options and we're gone.
You watch him drive by. Yeah.
Dude comes out, peeks his head. Oh, shit. That's the rubber band man. Yeah, that's him. Can we get the room now? Yeah, we'll get the room. We go in and get the room. And so, and we had a great time and he loved the barbecue. All his guys loved it.
We think they got the best wings.
Yeah, their wings, their fiery kiss wings is incredible.
The shit, yeah.
Their fiery kiss wings and their fries and their beans, like
cornbread.
they're winning.
The manager gonna have two people come say, "Hey, T.I. is here," and he's like, "I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like, what a weird lie, you know? And also, you're about to find out real quick.
So then he comes in the room and says, "Mr. T.I., Mr. Harris, can I get a pic?" And T.I. is going on this comedic tour now, and he's like,
no,
bro, you really want me to give you a picture and you didn't believe I was in the car? Is this for real?
Yeah.
come on, I'll give you a picture. So, but it was good. It was fun. We had a great time. But those would be my two places that I would send somebody for barbecue.
I always say
I respect it, man.
because Jack Stack's just got the best vibe.
Yeah, they got a vibe, man.
You know? I like a restaurant. I like being served. I like I think that's nice.
Yeah, and you can never lose with giving somebody their beans and wings. So if worst comes to worst, tell them to order the fiery kiss wings and tell them to order the beans, and they're gonna be like, man, it was the best barbecue.
Dude, I even love the smoked jalapeno they give you with the fire kiss wings.
Yeah,
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Hey, Jabari, it's been a super pleasure meeting you, man.
It's been my
Had a
pleasure.
great time hanging out with you today, man.
Absolutely.
Our format, we typically, go like an hour and a half or whatever. I think we've gone 2 hours plus.
Okay.
And it's been good. It's all been great. So just appreciate the time that you took with us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling inspired.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
Thank you.
We're
we
excited
definitely
for you guys,
see eye to
man.
eye on a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming
Thank
on,
you.
man.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me, and let me know where you guys post this at, and I'll make sure that people go out and
dude. Where can people find
run up
you
this content.
for our listeners? Where can they find you?
One place at the TUF Club on Instagram.
That's TUF CLUB.
One F. A lot of people want to put TUFF. TUF. One F at the TUF Club on Instagram, man.
Awesome, man.
That's where we post our updates and everything. So
It's awesome, man.
Appreciate you once again. For our listeners, if you guys would like to share this podcast, we'd really appreciate it. That's our number one thing that we do to grow. We don't do ads. It's 100% based on word of mouth. And if you are looking for one of our Protein Bros official Miami Vice shirts, we have those available at all stores. Just make sure to show our staff that you subscribed, and they will hook you up on the house. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
thanks.